Oh shit.
What?
Damn. Fuck. Oh.
I got it.
Hey, bro, we got kids.
Atlanta Police Chief Erika Shields resigns following the shooting death of a black man at fast food restaurant. Atlanta Police Chief stepping down after police gunned down man in Wendy's parking lot. Video circulating on Twitter showed a scuffle on the ground with officers outside of the restaurant. The man gets up and flees on foot with two white officers chasing him when shots rang out. A 27-year-old man was shot and killed by Atlanta police after a struggle with officers in the parking lot of a Wendy's Friday night. Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms announced Saturday that Police Chief Erika Shields agreed to step down and that the officer involved in the shooting had been fired. The mayor said a nationwide search for a new police chief would begin. She said Deputy Chief Rodney Bryant will serve as the interim chief until then. Shields will continue in a role to be determined, the mayor said. While there may be debate as to whether this was an appropriate use of deadly force, I firmly believe that there is a clear distinction between what you can do and what you should do. I do not believe that this was a justified use of force, the mayor said. What has become abundantly clear over the last couple weeks in Atlanta is that while we have a police force full of men and women who work alongside our communities with honor, respect, and dignity, there has been a disconnect with what our expectations are and should be as it relates to interactions with our officers and the communities in which they are entrusted to protect. Authorities identified the victim in Friday's shooting as Rayshard Brooks, a 27-year-old father of 3 children from Atlanta. Video from the scene appeared to show Brooks running away from the police with a taser in his hand. Authorities said Brooks wrestled the taser away from an officer in a scuffle. In the video, Brooks' arm holding the taser turns slightly toward the officer and it appears he tried to fire it at the officer shortly before he was gunned down. And now we show you the video spread on social media.
Oh shit.
What?
Damn. Fuck. Oh.
I got it.
Hey, bro, we got kids.
Right.
The shooting follows weeks of national protests calling for police reform and social justice in the wake of the police killing of George Floyd, who died after a Minnesota officer kneeled on his neck for nearly 9 minutes. Immediately after the shooting, protesters gathered at the Wendy's shouting, "Stop killing our people," and "Whose streets? Our streets." On Twitter, Rayshard Brooks and Atlanta shooting trend throughout Saturday. Protesters also demonstrated outside Atlanta Police Headquarters Saturday evening. Stacey Abrams, the former Democratic gubernatorial candidate and now activist, said the killing demands we severely restrict the use of deadly force. Yes, investigations must be called for, but so too should accountability, Abrams said on Twitter. Sleeping in a drive-thru must not end in death. In an afternoon news conference, GBI Director Vic Reynolds said his agency was doing its best to gather all the facts. He said it does appear Brooks was fleeing when an officer opened fire. Surveillance video from the Wendy's showed Brooks turn slightly with what appeared to be the officer's taser in his hand just before he was fatally shot. Reynolds said, "We will do everything we can to expedite the investigation." The GBI said the officer's body cam was knocked off during the physical struggle with Brooks. The GBI said its preliminary information indicated officers responded to the scene after receiving a complaint about a man asleep parked in the drive-thru. Authorities said the man failed a field sobriety test and, during the arrest, he resisted and a struggle ensued in the end. "We wish you good health. Don't forget to like the video. Subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell, to see all the new videos coming. Goodbye, and I hope you have a good time."